Dr. Fenoy, advised me that, while he was on vacation last week, he spent time with his family, his parents and his children, and recognized that time is fleeting when you have aging parents, and that, it's important that you make the best use of that time while you have the opportunity. I didn't have that opportunity. My parents are gone, and so family's always been first. I believe family should always come first, and so does he. And so I give him credit for, a young guy, recognizing that it's time to spend some time with your family before you go on with your life when they're not there any longer.
So you kind of take in the initial shock,
yes.
And then you're the board chair, so everyone's coming to you. I'm sure your phone's been ringing off the hook. What's that next thought in your mind after you're processing the fact that he's going
How much does a ticket to Europe cost? But seriously, we probably shouldn't say that either. So what it was a day that I didn't expect, obviously, and in fact, I told one of the reporters, I said, "You guys and gals are relentless. It's like the phone hasn't stopped, So obviously, I had plans this week to do other things, and this has really taken all my energy to deal with this situation. But I've done it before. Unfortunately, this is not the first time we've had a change in superintendents during a period of time when I was chairman. So this board, I think all of us except Ms. Ayala have been through a superintendent change. So this board has always done a great job of finding qualified candidates, and I think we'll do the same thing this time.
I know you're going to have your first discussion about it today. Where's your mind first going? Are you thinking we got to search national? We got to look internally? What are you thinking?
I think we should do a national search. I don't know how my colleagues feel, because obviously I can't talk to them except at meetings, as you know, but it is a very tough job, and we are the 10th largest school district in the United States. Much diversity here, not only in our in our population, but also in our economic status with different parts of the county. So I want to see us bring in somebody that has proven expertise in handling a large organization. We have 23,000 employees. It takes somebody that has experience handling a large organization, hopefully a large school system, to come here to take over for us. And that might be a national search to get that candidate here.
I know he gave his 90-day notice, part of his contract. Do you anticipate keeping him in his role for that 90 days? Or do you see, him, he was saying he could possibly move to a lesser role during a transition period? As I didn't tell you before, because there was another reporter, he's given us his 90-day notice, and his last day would be October 11th. I see no reason to shorten that period of time. We have the school reopening. It's a full reopening, as opposed to last year. All of our students, that are coming back will be back. Everything's in place. He's put it in place to reopen the school system, and I think he should follow through on that, and I want him to follow through on that. It doesn't make sense to me to change the top leader when you're reopening a district after a pandemic or during the ending days of a pandemic, hopefully the ending days of a pandemic. So I would push back on any board's suggestion that we should shorten that term. And obviously you do still have a giant task ahead of you, 4 weeks to go until the new school year begins. How do you assure the community that, your focus is on that, and that this search won't take away from what you're trying to do?
Well, as I said, this board is familiar with going through a superintendent search while the school system is operating. So we've got the experience to do that. Obviously, this board's major priority is making sure that we deliver quality education to the children in this district, and I'm sure all the board members will keep that in mind. And although we have this difficult task ahead of us to find a new superintendent, our priority must be that we provide that education to the children.
The past couple of supers it's been about 3 years and change. Talk about just kind of that type of turnover from a board perspective. It's a tough job that they have.
Yeah, I guess the national average is 3 years. I was certainly hoping that Dr. Fenoy would stay longer than 3 years. It's a difficult task to go through
bringing in a new superintendent and going through the vetting process and making sure the public is comfortable with the person we've chosen. So I was hopeful that he was staying longer. I think he had a 5-year contract with us. So you know, he had expressed his desire to me to stay here forever. He said he loved it here, his family loved it here, and he had no intention of going anywhere. So I hope the next superintendent we can keep longer than the 3 years.
He certainly has faced criticism over the past year. I mean, this year was unimaginable for anyone. From the board, from you yourself at times, based on some leadership, do you think that he handled the role as best as someone could, or are there areas that you're looking for different qualities in your next leader?
You know, it's hard to say we're looking for different qualities in the next leader, because the next leader hopefully won't have to go through a pandemic. So I think under the circumstances that he faced, all the challenges and obstacles in his way, that he did as good a job as anybody could have done in this situation.
And what are some of the things you'll look for when you all launch your search?
Personally, I want to find somebody that has a proven track record of handling a large school district. Hopefully we can find somebody like that. I'd also like to find somebody that has a business experience. After all, this is a very large business. We have 23,000 employees and a budget approaching $4 billion. So, you know, it would be very beneficial, I think, to the district to have somebody with both educational and business background to handle this district.
Anything else you want the community to know as you guys kind of move forward in the next phase?
Well, I want the community to know that this board is focused on providing a quality education, reopening our school system so that everybody comes back safely, and that we wish the superintendent well as he takes a hiatus from his job.
And today, kind of an initial discussion, what are you expecting you kind of leave today's meeting with?
Well, you know, I'd like to get the board to agree to take time. We shouldn't be making decisions the day after the superintendent makes his resignation known to us. So I'm hoping that the board will I'm going to ask the board to let's take some time. Let's possibly give me the authority as chairman to meet with the general counsel, human resources, the superintendent himself, and come back with all the options that are available to us so that we can have a meaningful discussion with all of the facts and available to us before we start making decisions on what we should do next.
How long does it take on average to get that right person in the role, knowing too that at this time apparently there's a lot of big school districts around the country looking for leaders? Yeah,
I'm not sure how long it's going to take this time because there are vacancies all over the country for school district superintendents. I'm hopeful that we can get this done by the middle of the school year, by the December break. There's been some, suggestions from people that are calling us saying that they want a new superintendent in place by the beginning of the school year. That's impossible. Yeah. It's not feasible. I mean, we'd have to just pick somebody, and I don't want to pick just somebody. I want to have the right person in the position, and I'm sure my colleagues on the board share that goal. So I can't imagine it even being done by October 11th. I don't think we can get it done in 90 days. So I'm hopeful that by the end of the first semester we have a superintendent that will take over for the second semester.